Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever wanted to build something for the web, you know the number of tools out there can be, well, a little overwhelming. Today, we're going to unpack one that's designed to be different. We're talking about a simple, lightweight PHP framework called PHPWeave.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to build a website with just a totally blank text file? It's an amazing way to learn for sure, but you realize pretty quickly that you're solving the exact same problems over and over. How do I handle URLs? How do I talk to a database? Where do I even put all my files? It's kind of like deciding you're going to build a house completely by hand. And for every single house you build, you're going to reinvent the plumbing, figure out the electrical wiring from scratch, and pour a new foundation. I mean, you could do it, but wow, is it inefficient. And that's exactly where a web framework comes in. Think of a framework as a pre-built house frame. It takes care of all that standard, repetitive, structural work for you. That way, you get to focus on the fun part. Designing the rooms, picking the paint colors, and adding all the unique furniture that makes your project yours.
Okay, so with that idea in mind, let's talk about one specific blueprint, PHPWeave. So what exactly is it, and what makes it such a great starting point for your web projects?
At its heart, PHPWeave is a lightweight, homegrown PHP framework. And homegrown just means it was built from the ground up to solve a real problem. It was created to get rid of all the complexity you see in some of the bigger frameworks, all to make building stuff faster and just more intuitive. And it's got a pretty cool history, actually. It started out with something called automatic routing, where the URL on your site had to match your code files exactly. Super simple, but also a little rigid. But as the web changed, PHPWeave changed with it. It moved to a modern, explicit routing system, which gives you total control to design clean, custom URLs. This is absolutely perfect for building the powerful APIs that run so many of today's apps.
So how does it actually keep your project organized? Well, it uses a really common and super powerful pattern called MVC. And sticking with our house analogy, if the framework is the frame, you can think of MVC as the blueprint. It gives you this clean, logical way to separate all your code into 3 distinct parts so that everything has a proper place. No more messy code!
First up, we have the model. This is the foundation of your house, the structural beams. The model handles all your data, getting it from a database, updating it, and managing the core rules of your app. It's the strong, reliable core that everything else depends on.
Next, there's the view. This is everything your user actually sees and interacts with. In our house analogy, this is the interior design, the paint on the walls, the style of the windows, the whole layout. The view's only job is to take the data it's given and make it look good for the user.
And finally, we have the controller. This is the brain of the whole operation. It's like the wiring and the plumbing that connects everything together. So when a user clicks a link, the controller gets that request, it tells the model to go grab the right data, and then it hands that data off to the right view to show it to the user. It makes everything work together.
And the real beauty of this whole system is how it translates directly into a super clean folder structure. When you open up a PHPWeave project, you're going to see these exact folders: controller for the brains, models for the data, and views for the look. It is just so organized right from the start.
Okay, so the structure makes sense, but what about the features? Why would you pick a framework that's so proud of being simple?
Well, the whole philosophy here is about making a developer's life easier. It's built on simplicity, which means no extra bloat you don't need. It's flexible, so you can start really small and then scale up, and this is a big one, it's transparent. There's no hidden magic going on, so you can actually understand how everything works, which is fantastic when you're learning.
And here's a huge plus, especially for beginners. PHPWeave has 0 dependencies. That means it is just pure PHP. You don't need a package manager like Composer or any complex setup commands. You can literally just download the files, put them on a server, and start building instantly.
And 8, simple does not mean slow. Thanks to some really smart optimizations like lazy loading, which just means it only loads code when it's actually needed, the latest version is 30 to 60% faster. It's built for speed right from the get-go. The framework is also super flexible in how you use it. You can run it in a traditional mode with a database, which is perfect for something like a blog or an online store. Or you can switch to a totally database-free mode. This is amazing for building lightning-fast APIs or tiny little microservices, and it actually saves you about 5 to 15 milliseconds on every single request. Okay, this is all great in theory, but what does it mean in the real world? What can you actually build with a tool like this? Honestly, getting your first page up and running is as simple as 1, 2, 3.
First, you just define the URL you want. Second, you write the logic for what happens at that URL inside a controller. And third, you create the actual HTML page in a view. That's really it. It's such a clear and logical process.
And from that super simple starting point, you can build an incredible range of projects. You could make a personal blog, a really powerful API to power a mobile app, a blazing fast static website, or even complex systems that run jobs in the background. That simple foundation lets you build almost anything.
I think this quote just captures the whole spirit of PHPWeave perfectly. It started as a simple internal tool and grew into this modern, elegant framework, all while holding on to that core idea of clarity and developer control.
And at the end of the day, that's the real goal of a great framework, right? To give you just enough structure to get going, but then to get out of your way so you can focus on what actually matters, your idea. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What simple, brilliant idea could you finally bring to life?